Hi everybody, welcome to the Jess plus Scott plus You show. And today, well, every week I'm excited because every week is an amazing show. And before we get to the actual show, I may talk a little differently. I'm going to just come right out and say it. You're going to hear and feel and experience this journey with me as I go through braces as an adult to be on the path that I would like to maintain for my personal health and wellness. Because in my world, our mouth is kind of like the litmus test of what's going on with our entire body. So you'll definitely be hearing more about that. But that aside, let's talk about tonight. And tonight, you know, you are a solution. This came from a talk that I have done before. You are a solution. Every single one of you, and everybody here on the panel, has something to offer, has a unique gift. And when we bring that gift together in community, boy, do we really get to shine our brightest, figure out what we want to learn, where we are, and most importantly, figure out how to help others shine their brightest. And we'll be right back after our open. And, okay, there it comes.
Okay, Jess, take it away. All yours.
I love live shows. There was a hiccup in there, and I was like, well, where did the music go? I better jump right in. So,
it was me.
All right. Scott, how was your day today?
Well, it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and yeah. I'm trying to... my computer seems to be doing something, so I'm going to pass it back to you and see what I can do to get things better.
All right, the power of live shows and the importance of them as well, because not only do you get to see everybody off the cuff and thinking about the conversation, you actually get to see a little bit what goes behind the scenes. Again, part of community. And without both Scott and I here, man, it would be crazy if just one of us was trying to do all these things, right, Scott? So anyway, we have a group here tonight that I am honored to be able to participate in. And Scott and I, we were thinking, and we wanted to share communities that we know and believe in and understand and bring to you an understanding of what they're for and what they stand for. And Lany Sullivan has created a group called ReachConnectUpliftWomen. Did I get it in the right order, Lany?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I think I've been saying it backwards. Anyway, ReachConnectUpliftWomen, and with her are Sheryl, Loch, and Susan Finch, two of the leadership team. And I want to say, welcome, ladies.
Hi, thanks for having us. Thanks for having us. And Jess is part of our leadership team too, so we have to give her that kind of credit.
Thaneven
Even though she's still learning the name of the group.
I know, right? I've been saying it backwards. I've been saying Reach, Uplift, Connect Women, and I even might be typing the letters that way. So I'm really glad for autofill on Google because then I'll always get it right.
See, you think about it like putting on a bra.
Okay.
You reach, you connect it, and it uplifts.
Oh. Now,
okay, we know we didn't plan it like that, though, ladies and gentlemen. That's totally a Freudian slip.
Actually, should we bring in the Tip It Tuesday acronym now?
Oh yeah, Tip It Tuesday acronym. TITS. Lord have mercy.
Well, okay, if you didn't notice, ladies and gentlemen watching, RCUW is a women's community. Inadvertently or advertently, that's just the way that it is, and everything seems to be circling around that. So, Lany, what was the story behind having you decide you wanted a group like this?
Well, long story short, or long story longer, whichever way you want to look at it, I decided I wanted to start a community. Where do I start? Okay, so I got divorced like 10, 12 years ago, something like that. Look at Susan. She's like, where does she start? That's what I'm going. I'm like, where do I start? So I got divorced, and when I got divorced, I was like, lowest point in my life. What the heck am I going to do with myself? And I realized I didn't have I had lots of friends, but not lots of friends who could relate to what I was going through, and so I didn't have people to kind of cry on shoulders. I didn't want to go to therapy, and I was like, I'm not that bad. But I didn't have a community of people that I could go, gosh, I really just could use some extra support. And so that was 10, 12 years ago, whenever that was. And then a few years ago, I was transitioned from being in the corporate world to being in the digital space, and I realized how much I didn't know. I still don't know today, but I wanted to create a resource center for women because I realized that as I'm talking to women and as I'm going on this journey of learning, there's a lot of freaking people, especially women, who have hopped into these little businesses and they have no idea how to do anything in business. Not just online, but just in business in general. And so I wanted to become and create a resource center for business, but then for all these life things that we go through. And it's nice to have someplace to just be real, and be able to just dump your load and go, oh my God, I've had an awful day. Or go, oh my God, I had the best success, and, oops, excuse me, hold please.
Well, okay, so Susan and Sheryl, let's talk about how you got into this, because you have known Lany for a while, and you have very strong opinions about what it means to be a woman in business, and to know that we're looking for something more, where we have this possibility to really collaborate and be there and lift each other up. So tell us a little bit from your perspective how you look at this community.
Sheryl, you can go first.
Oh, I can. I still don't understand what you want, because I look at it as I look at it as any community. It doesn't matter if there's men, if there's women, if everybody has the same goal and has either gone through the same steps or are going through certain parts of life, in business, whatever. It's the same for everybody. It doesn't matter what gender you are. And I'll stop at that, because I almost said gender parts. I still don't understand what you want, because I look at it as I look at it as any community. It doesn't matter if there's men, if there's women.
Oh.
Okay. I couldn't tell if I was the one that popped out or not. Well, I'm not in disagreement with that at all, and I was specifically talking about RCUW. So, it happens to be a community for women, yet if a man wanted to come participate because they have life experiences too, they are welcome. It is not exclusive to that. It's to anybody who's had life experiences.
It doesn't matter if there's men, if there's women.
Well, I kind of feel that I don't view myself as the token in the green room. Someone said token man, and I really don't view myself as that. I couldn't tell if I was the one that popped out.
I disagree. Well,
I'd like to take issue with the idea that that women and men are analogous in this world, because quite frankly, I think that men have had it pretty well for a long time, and it might be that we're in a shift from one way of doing things to another.
Okay, so when Scott catches up, he will join us. And
in the green room, someone said token man, and I think I might. I'd like to take issue with the idea that there is analogous.
So Scott is muted because there's a video playing in his background, and we're going to let him find which window that might be in, and then I can't wait to hear his answer.
Oh.
That's so funny, because I can't hear the audios that I'm playing through my system, so I was unaware of that. I'm so sorry. Man, this has really turned out. I'm so glad that what I was saying wasn't really part of the show, because I was getting into it, and the further I got into it, I was thinking, how am I going to get out of this? So actually, it was a little bit of a blessing. So I'm really I'm of the opinion, and I feel that I needed to pop in pretty soon, that on the culture that we're aware of, and at least that I've been able to observe in Google Plus in the 21st century, and the sort of collaborations that we have online right now, things are pretty well collegial, and I don't think that they're necessarily all that well delineated between genders. So it might be that for especially the people in the panel right now, there's no special gender-based help that is needed. But you're coming off of generations of roles that were more greatly delineated between two different factions and gender-based. So I can only imagine that there's going to be a need for a transition from what used to be to what we think and hope will be in the future. And so I'm wondering if that might be a little bit behind the idea of your organization.
I know for me what I've noticed is since the economic fallout, 2008, I noticed it because of my nonprofit. A lot of the women that used to volunteer can no longer do that because they must get jobs. And many of them for the first time, and as Lany pointed out, a lot of those women have truly no experience. And some of them are doing it like as a kind of as a pretend job because they aren't really ready, so they don't realize it's still a hobby for them because they don't have that total need to make it work, or they're allowed to fall. And then from there, things kept changing. And now they do have to make it work. And they do have to rely on that income, and their family won't have a home without that income. But they have not been trained. They've been tossed into it without having training, guidance, corporate guidance like a lot of us have had, even if it was a short stint. There's a big difference when you've learned to work with a team, you've learned to work with vendors, suppliers, find clients, all those pieces, or at least see them happen in whatever role you're in. And if you don't have that exposure, and you've never had to go get a loan and be responsible when you fall down because somebody's always there to pick you up, that's part of why we're here. It's to say, okay, guys, let's catch you guys up to where some of us have already been, men and women. But it's primarily the women that are in those roles. We do run across some men the same way, but the community is Connect, Uplift Women. Men do that. Our biggest fans are men. Unfortunately, it's not women. Women are still biting each other in the backs a lot of times. And so truly our biggest fans are the men, and the more we can set by example that we need to lift each other up, I think the more it will start to permeate.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's, that is another reason, and I apologize that I got interrupted by my dog. But yeah, it's another reason is I was seeing women attack each other in a space that I'm like, we're not in high school. Let's be real. You're an adult. Grow up. Pull on your big girl panties and act like a big girl, Like in all aspects of your life. Yes, we're emotional creatures, men and women, and I just got tired of seeing this backbiting, nasty attitude, and I wanted to see women care for each other and uplift each other. And you know what? We don't all agree. Even the leadership, we all have different personalities, we all have different experiences in life, thought processes, the whole 9 yards. So it's interesting to get, a group of women together because you're going to have a very interesting dynamic. But that's not related just to women. I mean, that's people in general. But, I think men would characterize us as crazy. And we have a good time at that.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with anything that you say tonight.
That's awesome, Scott. Okay, so when I think about this, there are 4 Ps that are the title of tonight's show. And I'd like to talk about each one of them in relationship to the community so the community that everybody here but Scott and Scott by token and being associated with me is a part of. So Scott, you're included in this. Let's go through each one of them. And Lany just created, has been thinking about these for a while and formulated them into the core values of the community. What I'd like to do is talk about each one and how it relates to us as individuals and us as we show up together to collaborate or just be in the same group, lead by example, whatever that looks like, as the first part. So the first one is power. Lany, it's all you and Sheryl and Susan and Danielle. Hi, Danielle. Excited you're here.
Yes, Danielle's on too from Hawaii. So powerful. I mean, this allows us to kind of, Blair Glazer said it best in a recording that we did a couple of weeks ago. being able to step into your authority as a woman. We run into challenges, and if you take a stand on something, men are praised as you're powerful and strong, and women are called the B word. Well, no, we're powerful and strong too. Why do we get categorized as something negative when we're able to stand into our authority? And so it's having that courage to step up and operate in the place that you know that you should exist.
I just found something interesting. The P's are in our little chat, folks, so because I didn't remember what they were. But the word was power, which is a noun, and you changed it into powerful as an adjective to describe yourself and to describe who you are. I just find that interesting rather than it being a thing that you possess. It's something that you are. Just an observation. I thought that
and when we define the core values, which we'll be updating on the website, it says we are powerful, and we are productive, and we are progressive, and we are perceptive. Oh yeah, and I just went through all the 4 Ps. Ha!
Well, okay, so power, you make a really good point, and a lot of women in general have very strong voices. The thing is, we don't see them in community, or we tend to think that it will not be received well if we do speak our voice, if we do bring our experience, if we do say, hey, there might be a minefield over here, and let me tell you, when you get there, this, if you find it, this is what to be aware of. And granted, that's a lot of advice. That's a lot of information. Yet, people don't have to remember everything all the time. They can go, oh, wow, I was told that, and now I'm there. I've got to go back and get the details. And that's one of those things where I think when we get into even being productive, having walked the road and also wanting to manage our time well and keep all, whether you call them dishes or balls, whatever they might be, up in the air, juggling all at the same time, we've got to be productive. So weigh in, ladies, about the productivity piece of this. How does that relate to what we see when we come together in community?
Okay, can I take this one? Is that all right? So what I've been noticing about productivity with this particular group is that there are times in life where, of course, we hear something once and we go, yeah, it's a really good idea that I need to go update my bio. And then we forget about it. And the community does such a good job at reminding you to, just go do it and do it right now and take 2 minutes. And for me, that's productivity come to real life right there. It might be the second or third time I've heard that thing, but I'm going to take action right away because there's 4 other or 5 other or 10 or 20 or 30 other women that are all going to go do this project right now. And you can tune into that vibe.
What I like, though, is even though we do remind each other several times on the same things, and it might come from Sheryl one time and Lany from another, I think the biggest thing in a community of any type, whether it's online, in person, male, female, to know that the root of it is love and caring. So I know you guys aren't nagging me. I know you're not putting me down. I know that it's all for the better of me and the community as a whole. And I think if you can establish that, that's where all those P's come into play. And I think that's one of the, not to suck up to Lany, but that's one of the talents that she had, pulling this group together. Starting back with those 4 girls and transforming it into this. She saw that in each one of us. And she has been determined to continue to bring that out for all of us for our personal growth. So that's where the leadership piece is enormous and unmistakably critical.
Go, Lany.
I'm like, wow, I don't even know what to say at this point.
Well, I think I'll add a little bit more to that, because it's not only that you're supporting each other, you're also doing it in a way that is on the leading edge of 21st century, the current thinking in terms of marketing for social media, taking advantage of the technology and the opportunities there, because you're, as I see it, and if you could elaborate if I'm getting this correctly, you're not just Google or Google Plus or Hangouts on Air, you've broadened the base so that your footprint is going in all sorts of different directions. Does that resonate? And could you speak to that, please?
Yes, it does. We are not just yes, we have a community on Google Plus, but our goal this year, one of our goals this year, and it's a big goal, is we'll be creating a space on our website. And our goal this year is to drive our community to our website and to create that. If social media dies tomorrow, where does everybody go? And so we want to bring everybody, kind of create our home on our website. So Google Plus is a tool, social media in general is a tool, but we are stepping out this year into the communities, into our local communities, and we'll be, and not all the ladies know this yet because this is something that I've been working on. There's lots of little things happening right now that it's going to be coming out, and yes.
You heard it first here on the Just Plus Scott Plus You show. Go ahead, go girl.
What beans are you spilling, dude? All ears.
So we are, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So we'll be reaching out to different, communities where our members live and looking for opportunities to have a presence to make a difference and make an impact in those communities. We're going after funding because we want to be able to provide grants for women in need in different areas of their lives. So it's going to be a big thing. We're not an online community. We are a global community that is going to do and is doing big things. We may be starting small, but everybody starts small. Everything starts as a mustard seed.
And if you're Michael Daniels, he says he'll just nag you if you want, Susan Finch. He's just saying. So there you go. Not to totally change the context of what you were just saying, but I think that's really awesome. And that's where the progressive piece, the third P, comes in what you were just talking about, Lany. And there's so many ways to be progressive. I mean, once upon a time, women were progressive in the sense that they fought to have entitlement to vote, to be, to be able to work, to be able to be educated. All of those things have been overcome. Yet, sometimes, even if it's just in our head, we still have things that we have to overcome. And so, being progressive, being able to do something like what everybody else is doing, yet with a twist and more, gives people a sense to be able to connect with the community in a way that maybe they haven't been able to with an online community so far. And I like the progressiveness of that, to use your word.
Yeah, it's really exciting because, communities can become stagnant online because everybody gets busy, but how do you get it, how do you revive it? How do you keep the energy flowing? That's always a challenge. How do you keep people engaged? How do you keep them wanting to come back for more? And I think you've got to keep coming up with something, not something new that they have to keep track of, but something that they want to be involved in. Not every person's going to want to be involved in every community initiative. So what kind of community initiatives are people wanting to be involved in? And this is where the local community to me is important. I work in local business, so I want to work in a local community. And so I want to go, if your community could benefit from something that we can provide, let's participate. Let's, partner up together. Let's work together. And that's where I want to go with this progressive aspect.
Okay, Sheryl, let's talk about progressive. We haven't heard from you yet in a while.
I'm being quiet because my computer's freaking out.
I think today is just a Gremlins online and offline. We're just gonna call it that because I think this has been a trying day all the way around.
So my computer must have been talking to your computer. Well, I'm wondering, would you say, and this is new information for me in terms of the local aspect as well, would you say that ReachConnectUpliftWomen is a hybrid organization, that it's online and it's local?
No, I think there's people who have like networking groups and then they have an online community, so I don't think it's a hybrid so much as in that regard. Maybe it could be considered a hybrid in the sense that we're expanding beyond like one centrally localized space I mean, we're going out to where community members are. But I know that there's a lot of networking groups that do that, but we're not a networking group. We're a community. So it's very different. Like, we're not doing networking events where all these random people show up and they try to sell each other on crap business. So, yeah, I said it. So we're not a networking community. We are uplifting community. We're about supporting each other. We're about growing our businesses and not necessarily trying to sell each other crap.
Okay, so to go back to something then that Danielle shared with, okay, there's going to be this energy. Somebody's going to say they're doing something, or they ask a question, and another person in the community has an answer, and they share that, and now there's this little bit of a buzz, and now there are 4 people that are going, oh, it's really that easy? Well, let me just get that done. And so there tends to be this, we get to bring our energy together, which a whole bunch of little snowballs make up an avalanche, and that's kind of that's something that I get really excited about, is to see all of these people come together around common desires, even if they're little ones, and create a little a vibrational shift, if you will, and go, wow, okay, and that's a little bit of empowerment too.
It is. Yeah, it really is. Danielle, do you want to add more to it?
I'm totally itching to add to this. Because the truth is, when we talk about progressive, with my background being in marketing, like, old marketing was when you shot your message out like a networking group. Hey, I do this. I'm looking for this type of customer. If you're the right person, come to me, work with me. But new marketing and this new progressive community that we're all building together is about coming together, helping each other succeed, and letting the barriers of competition fall. I heard the best word today in one of my brainstorming sessions. It was co-opetition. It's when you know that you can cooperate with your competition and make progress for the greater good, and that it's going to come back to you in other ways. So I just wanted to add that just the idea of having a community that's so supportive and less networky and selly, that in itself is progressive these days.
I think another advantage we have, though, because, and I hear this every week on Google Plus especially, we have a chance to kind of vet each other. We can't hide our crazy all the time, and it comes out. And so you get a chance to see that. You also get a chance, though, to say, it's how I met Jess. I met Jess, online, and I loved what she was saying, and I loved her personality, and I thought, I want to interview this woman, and I want to get her on a show. And that was the beginning of our friendship.
Yeah.
And we had totally opposite feelings it was about networking.
Yes, it was.
It was about networking in person,
Mm-hmm.
and she's the outgoing one, and I'm the you're ticking me off one. And we connected, though, on that, and built a friendship starting there, and have continued to get to know each other through what she posts to other people, through what I post to other people, through what we share together, to what we don't agree on, and we respect each other. And I think that is one of the biggest advantages. We have that opportunity for a little more time than a once-a-month meeting to hawk our wares. And I think it truly does lend itself to that word community more than anything. It lends itself to strategic partners, which is what a few of us have become for each other as well. So we build each other's businesses for real, like in our checkbooks. We help each other.
Yep.
Because we found those skills and talents. So community allows you to see people in so many different lights. And if you're smart, you go find them on their other venues too to see if they're still the same person over there too.
I'm going to do a quick shout out to a woman who I admire and who fits everything that we've been talking about, specifically when it comes to being progressive, and that's Kitty. Hi, Kitty. It's really cool that you're here, actually. And, yeah. She also says there are gremlins everywhere in her part of the world, too. So, holy moly is all I have to say. Mm-hmm. Co-opetition, huh? And I love that. And I love how Susan just defined that in even a different way of, we might even do similar things, yet we still might work together on projects. How cool is that to be able to have a new level of connection? And I know on Ray's show this morning, on the Lunch Bunch show, where Ryan Hanley was a guest, one of the pieces of conversation was, he is in the insurance vertical. Well, insurance, and within insurance there are a ton of verticals. And when you choose a vertical and specialize, somebody else could also be in the insurance business but have a completely different vertical, and that's really where some connection and collaboration can come in, I think, for a first step for people. And then it can go from there, because when you find out you can work together or you have common goals outside of this vertical that you're selling, more things become possible.
I think of when you say vertical, the first thing that comes to mind is people that are always trying to climb to the top. They forget that we live in a three-dimensional world, and you can go lateral. Lateral means across. And so you can expand at the same levels and experience different things as well. It doesn't always have to be about climbing and doing more. It can be about stretching your arms out and trying new things.
I love it.
Well,
Joseph,
Jeff, I see the time is 46 minutes after. I'm wondering if this break in the action might be a good time for a shout about.
Yes, as long as Lany didn't have anything else to add there. Okay.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is great, and we'll go ahead and go to this break while people assess and remember what was said, and we'll see you on the other side.
1, 2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine, 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful colors.
I think there's a song about impossible. So if you know a song about the impossible or the impossibility of the world or something to that nature, please share it with me, because I would like to make a list of impossible songs. And why does that matter? It matters in this particular moment because our hard work and the contribution and the things that we tackle every day are impossible for some people. What comes easy to us is hard for others. What's hard for us is easy for others. We are all here for a specific purpose. And that purpose is a gift. And in the actions, the things that come easy to us or the things that we want to learn about and we work really hard to achieve, just reinforces the fact that no one is exactly like you in the past and in the future and right now. You are you and you are unique. Other people might have similar strengths, but the paths that we take, the conversations that we have, the experiences that make us who we are really do set us apart from everybody else. Each one of us has the potential to forward society in our own little way. The action that we take, the impossibilities that we overcome, all of those are ripples and affect our society. And other people are watching and listening and hearing and talking. And those ideas that come from each of our experiences and how we collaborate is really what gives us the opportunity to contribute in society and feel fulfillment all at the same time. I'm Jess Dewell. I work with company leadership who feel the pressure to perform and want to be so far ahead that you set the standard in your industry and that the work that you do impacts society beyond your company.
$1 million like a kid to pay dirt. Gonna smile from ear to ear, the kind that makes your face hurt. And we'll laugh, jump, sing loud, not afraid to shout about being happy, living it out. Take a look and see a beautiful morning.
I'm telling you, it's all about impossible. And realistically, the one word I like about impossible is that anybody who's like me will be like, impossible? Here I go, and I'm going to get it done. And I think we all have a little bit of that in us, depending on which area we might be focused in our life and what our priorities might be. But I know every single person that I have ever met, that I've actually spoken with and had a conversation, has come up with has overcome a possibility. And I think that's one of the cool things about community, is that when we come together, we get to see how people have overcome their impossible goals. And when we look at it, we can be inspired by them.
Absolutely. I'm like, that's the fun part about it, is watching somebody process their dreams and their goals and their vision and their and their process, right? Process their process, and be able to see them go through it and then have the success. And even in their failure or their struggle, when you can be there to support them and go, okay, well, let's think about another way, or let's think about, so being able to support them in their success and be inspired by them, or you can be inspired by somebody's struggle, because then you can go, that's how it works, or that's how it doesn't work.
Unmute yourself, Jess.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, okay. Well, let's go into this, too. Some of the things that we were talking about just now, and everything that we were talking about before, really leads into the perception, our perceptiveness. We have to walk a walk. We encounter obstacles. We take each day as it comes to us. Sometimes we go with the flow, and sometimes we stand strong in that storm, whatever the case might be. And through that experience, that perceptiveness comes through, where we get to a place and we go, oh, I've been there before. Do I really want to go down this path? And do I have a different way to approach this again, or am I going to repeat something I really didn't want to ever repeat again? And I think that's kind of a neat piece too, that comes from community. And I love the fact that you said, Lany, earlier about network, that this is not a networking group. And by the way, as much as I love you said that, I really disagree with you, because in my perceptive way, I'm like, everybody that I meet, I have a chance to get to see, and whether you know it or not, I am vetting you. I am assessing where you go in my brain, because even if I ever need some help, guess who I'm going to go to? The people I know first. Then after that, when people come to me, guess who I'm going to go to for who to tell people about, to check out, or create an introduction for? The people I know. So we really are networking in our community, even if it's not a yickety-yackety promote ourself kind of group.
That's the thing, though. That word takes on so many connotations. It's the word.
Yeah.
It's no different than the word attic. The word attic is a fabulous place for some people. It's a dark, danky place with mouse poop for another person. And so, it's that word, that networking word. Lany, I'm with you on it, but you and I have that same. I know what you mean when you say that word.
Right, and I love to network. I mean, I love to connect and network and be like, oh, you should talk to this person and you should talk to that person because they can do that for you. I mean, I'm that girl that goes and meets people on LinkedIn in person and says, and I listen to everything that they do and their whole thing, and I'm like, by the time the conversation's over, they've got 20 referrals. Like, you need to go talk to that person and that person, this. I mean, I'm a networker in that capacity of I'm a connector, and that's why I think community really works for me, and why I love community, because we can connect and we can get past the surface level space that we live on in social media, and it's deeper. It's a deeper connection.
So many of us are reinventing ourselves for whatever reason, and that's great if we're doing it by ourselves, but if we can come together. So part of what I see all of you doing is reinventing the world and reinventing how we can interrelate with each other as a group. And that's why maybe there's this discussion about networking, because it might be that you're redefining the term networking and what that really means.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And, when it comes down to being perceptive, I kind of want to go back to perceptive really quick, is when you're in a community, it's really nice to have somebody who has gone through something that you are going through, and to be able to, like, being perceptive, what is that? It's insightful, it's caring, it's being aware, and it's nice to be able to have somebody who is being perceptive, or if you can be the one to be perceptive. And it goes over to this I can't even say the word today, reciprocity. We've been talking about reciprocity all day online, because I'm recording with Marisa Goody tomorrow about reciprocity. And it's not this, take, and then I'm going to give to you and I'm expecting you to take, but it's about giving what you can give. And when you receive that, what can you give to the next person? How can you help somebody in the community? You don't have to give back to the same person. If Jess gives to me, I can give to one of the girls in the community. I can give to one of the girls here. I can give to somebody outside the community, and it's a pay-it-forward process.
It's
But
a circle. There's
it
a
is.
parable. There's a parable about that where if I am in need and I come and I ask you for help, Susan, and you are able to help me, I am very grateful. Yet I go back to you and I say, "What can I help you with?" And you're like, "I don't have anything. You don't have anything I need right now." And so I turn around and I go find somebody else who does need what I have right now. And that circle will eventually get back to Susan, who started that value cycle, because they will have something that she needs at the time she needs it. And I love that piece of it. That would go, and that's for everybody. And I'm a big fan of giving, which is what you and Marisa are going to talk about. Receiving, which is something we're kind of told we shouldn't really do, that we should only give and we should never receive. And receiving whatever it is in the form that it is given is all we can do, because between those two things we find value. That could be a deepening of a friendship. That could be the start of a business relationship. It could be anything around those 2 points in the universe. So I think that that's something that we really should be thinking about when we think about being perceptive.
Absolutely.
And if we're really into giving, though, okay, so for those of you that have a difficult time receiving, let's put a spin on it. That you need to allow people to give to you, because sometimes that's what they need to do. And if you turn them down, you have taken away their opportunity to be able to give. Maybe they need to get out of themselves and do something for somebody else. And sometimes you just have to say yes, even if you don't really need it. In some cases, you need to just allow. And you don't realize sometimes how much you do need it, because we're so much out of the habit, especially women.
And that kind of goes into our theme this season of Me First, the ultimate unselfishness.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to take care of yourself, and you've got to give and you've got to receive. And I think the reciprocity is you got to find it in yourself to give and receive.
And I don't know exactly why, or maybe I do. The term "it takes a village" comes to mind as well. That seems to be in harmony with much of what you've been saying tonight.
Okay, I just have to pop this in here. Terry Lee Britton is going to become a superhero because he wants to know if productivity, progressiveness, and perceptivity lead to being all powerful. And the answer is absolutely yes, in your own way, Terry.
In your own special way, Terry. If you were here, Terry, I'd be muting you.
Oh, I love it. And on that note, knowing that we're all superheroes and we can show up, and we're all not going to be able to be the Fab Four because there's only 4 of them. Maybe it's the Fantastic Four. Shows you I know my superhero metaphors tonight. Anyway, the point being is we are all superheroes and we all come together. Maybe more like the Avengers. So as we wrap up tonight's show about community, I want to say thank you to each of you for being here, because each of you has touched my life in a very special way, both one for being here and sharing this time tonight, and also outside of this space and everything that we have had a chance to collaborate on and work together with. As we are wrapping up our show, I'd like to extend to you guys an opportunity for a final thought, and then where can we connect to you in addition to the Reach, Connect, Uplift Women, and there was Susan's metaphor, I got it right, community. All right, let's start. Lany, we'll end with you. Let's start. Sheryl, how about, do you want to share first or not? Okay, Danielle.
All right, so final thought would just be to open yourself up to working with people of all trades, because like points that you brought up, you never know when somebody can give you something and when you can give back to them as well. You can reach out to me and connect with me at mmmsocialmedia.com/connect. That's got links to all my social media profiles, and I'd love to hear from you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Susan.
My final thought is, when you meet people, your first impression, don't focus on the differences. Hang out to see if you can find something you have in common, and build from there, and then appreciate the differences. Don't let the differences cloud you. You can find me at SusanFinch.com. Everything's there.
Awesome. Thanks, Susan. Okay, Sheryl. It looks like we'll have to get Sheryl's and share it after the fact if she's still having a few computer problems. No worries.
Our computers are arguing with each other.
You can find but you can
or
find
maybe
Sheryl,
they're doing something else.
You can find her at SherylLoch.com. It's the
Thank
double
you,
L,
Susan.
double L in the middle.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Lany, last word.
You know, find a community that you can resonate with and then participate. I think that's really key. The community owners and founders and builders, some may be wasting their time and yours as well. But if it resonates with you, participate, because that's the whole point of community, is participation. There is no community if you're not participating. So come join our community. I can even say it tonight. ReachConnectUpliftWomen. You can find us on Google Plus. There we've got our page and our Google Plus community. But really connect with us on rcuwomen.com. We've got a YouTube channel. We do weekly episodes. Every week it's a broadcast you can tune into. We don't do live, so if you miss it, don't worry about missing it live or trying to schedule something in. Just watch it. And then if you want to connect with me, LanySullivan.com.
Thank you, Lany. And thank you, Sheryl, Susan, and Danielle. Yay! And Scott, I loved your contributions. This is fabulous. And now we're going to go right into the close, which is, this is the Jess plus Scott plus You Season 2, where we are talking about the supreme unselfishness, putting yourself first. And joining a community is a great way to put yourself first, because it gives you the opportunity to receive what the community has to offer, in addition to contributing to the community in whatever way that you can. Thoughtful conversations with people that are passionate about both personal and professional development is what we're all about this season, and we want to learn, grow, and share with you. So all of your comments about this, sharing this with somebody who is interested or could benefit from hearing about this today, please do. We look forward to that, and we look forward to the community of the JSY show and reaching the people that need the information that is being shared on our show. Thank you to Scott for this, from the Scott Treatment, where businesses capture the potential and power of video through post-production. You can find out more at thescotttreatment.com. And I'm Jess Dewell, and boy, do I love helping other people shine. And this community and having each of these people, these wonderful women here tonight, talking about community and what it means for the core values of the community that they belong to, really makes my heart sing. So let's get together and connect. If you want to find out more about me at jessicadewell.com. And until the next Jess plus Scott plus You show, we'll see you then.